Self-doubt isn't the truth. It's your fear wearing a costume. Your journey is yours alone. And comparison and the inherent truth about what being an artist is or what creating means actually are the enemy. They are not your talent. Let me explain. So you might have started. Good. Now comes the part that nobody talks about. And that's self-doubt. Or maybe, as I would like to call it, fear. Our ego stepping in the way of our potential. I know that a lot of people probably has the imposter syndrome. I've also struggled with that. And probably a lot of people actually talks about it, but have you ever thought about it from sort of a different perspective? Maybe more spiritual approach, you could say. And I'm no spiritual guru or anything like that. I might open up about that in later episodes because I'm going through sort of a journey with my own talents, let's say. But I really want to talk about this ego because it's something I talked about in previous episodes and also with some friends of mine. But I've realized that very often we just talk about self-doubt or the imposter syndrome being like a fear or being like a negative self-belief that we might have, which all might be true. But I also feel like that perspective gives us more the understanding of it's really part of us. It's me who is the imposter. It's me who's not perfect or not worthy enough and all that. And I personally believe that this imposter thing is kind of something more outside of us or not us. It might be something connected to us, but it's not you. It's not your identity. And that's what I want to shed more light on today. Let me ask you something. And this is a question I got from one of my friends. What if the fear of continuing your life or whatever you're doing would become greater than the fear of reaching your full potential? Maybe I can rephrase if it's too complicated for you to grasp it. And it's okay. It took me a moment to understand it too. I'm dyslexic, I'm dysgraphic, and I just feel like it takes me a minute to process information when people just throw it at me like that. So imagine you have, not imagine, you know your potential, girl. You know what you're capable of and what you want in life, right? Imagine all those things could come true. It's scary, right? It's scary to imagine your life changing from one day to another. So I understand there might be fear. But imagine that the fear of not getting those things, of never reaching that life that you want for yourself, becomes bigger, greater, than the fear of staying the same. Than the fear of what would happen if you get those things. Because it is scary, right? I understand. Of course, if you reach your potential, if you become the artist you want to be, or a musician, or, sort of become visible, because what it means is you have to put yourself out there, which is scary. And there will be people that will criticize you, but they are always there. There will always be people that are not happy with their lives and that will be very glad to comment on yours. So don't be afraid of that. I've been really afraid of that in the past, and I feel like the older I get, the less fucks I give, honestly, about those people, because I really realize that they're probably not happy with their life, and that's why they are glad to comment on mine, because it takes more energy and power and strength to fix your own problems than to comment on other people's problems or imperfections. So don't worry about that, because the imposter syndrome that tells us that we are not good enough, or we are not worthy of having this career, or having this house, or having whatever we want to have, is just our ego that believes a story about us, right? It's the mindset, the perception we have of ourselves that might have been installed in us since childhood, or from different conversations or interactions we had with people. But that doesn't mean that's the truth, right? And only you choose the story you tell yourself. Only you choose the reality you live in. You choose who you are and who you want to become. So why wouldn't you choose today to believe the story about yourself that will get you to the reality you want to live? Because it's totally possible. You live in the reality you perceive. If you believe you're an artist, then you are. Then you are. It's as simple as that. And don't let the fear get in the way. Don't let people that doubt themselves, so they will inevitably doubt others, get in the way of building your own reality, of giving yourself what you want. And I know it might sound too optimistic or delusional, but it's totally possible. You can call it manifestation, or you can call it just living your truth in alignment, whatever you want to call it. But it's real. You can truly get what you want. And it will not always arrive in the way that you want it, but it will arrive if you believe it. Just imagine a scenario where you want to have an exhibition in a gallery, right? Let's choose that, because that's a very real scenario for me. You talk to the gallery on a day where you feel really great, where you feel very confident and you believe in yourself, you believe you're an artist and worthy of being in that gallery. And they say, yes, let's talk about it in a month or two, because right now we're fully booked. But at that time, we would love to figure out a way to have your art. And you say, okay, I talked to you, I wrote you on Instagram, and then they apologize. They say, oh, sorry, we haven't seen the message, we are very busy, blah, blah, blah. But you exchange their contacts, and then you go home, and a few weeks go by, and you haven't heard a word from them. They haven't even read your message, the one that you pointed out in your meeting. And you start having doubts. You start thinking, oh, maybe they don't want me in that gallery, or I never had exhibition in a gallery, maybe I'm not really worth it, maybe I should, do my own thing. And then the resentment starts building, and you start thinking like, oh my god, I'll never make it, and I know my worth, and I know I'm an artist, but like, why do I never exhibit in a gallery? And you start being resentful. Do you notice that shift? Maybe it's the fear trying to tell you that you're not worthy. Maybe it's the fear that creeps in from your whole life, from all the past that you lived, that creeps in, because maybe it's that fear, not even from you, but maybe from your parents, that were trying to protect you as a child. So when you told them as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old that you want to be an artist, and they were afraid, so they said something like, oh, maybe you should be more realistic, maybe you should think about your future, you need to pay bills. Maybe it's their fear that's creeping in, telling you that right now things aren't moving the way you want them to move. So maybe you should be more realistic. Maybe this is not gonna work out. Do you feel that? Can you relate? Because what if it can happen for you? What if it will work out? And what if that gallery is truly as busy as they say? And what if all it takes is for you to just go to that gallery and talk to them again? And not waiting for some Instagram message response when clearly that communication is closed because they never even read your message. What if you call that guy that you got the number from to the gallery or the email that he gave you? What if you send your portfolio there? What if you leave one of your artworks in that gallery with a little note? Can't wait to talk to you in a few weeks. Discuss the future plans of exhibition. What if you give yourself one more chance? What if you give yourself the chance you deserve? And you stop waiting for others to open door for you. So, what is it gonna be? Are you gonna go and open that door for yourself? Or are you gonna be waiting for other people to open the door for you when they are too busy with their own lives? And what door is it gonna be that you're gonna open? I'm really curious to hear, so comment down below. I really want to hear what you're up to right now and what door you're gonna go through next. So, believe in yourself. You deserve whatever you want in your life, whatever you believe you deserve. So don't let the fear of your ego get in the way. Don't let the fear of others get in your way. Because whatever you can imagine is possible. And I believe you can do it. So go open that door. And I look very much forward to see you in the next episode of Artist Mindset. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe. It really helps with the channel. And I'll see you next Monday. Okay, bye.